Hey guys, it's Miss Cranford. I'm going to do a little video for our next project, and this is going to be a leaf drawing, but you're going to do some painting too. So I'm going to move the camera so that you can see the Elmo screen. So here we go. So what you're going to do is your teacher is going to first give you some real leaves to use. Now right now it's almost summertime when I'm recording this video, and so I don't have a lot of actual fall leaves, okay? So just keep in mind you're going to have real fall leaves for your project, but the way you're going to do this is, first of all, I want you to understand that when you place your leaves on your paper, that I want it to look like they were just kind of thrown down, okay? I don't want you to, line them up in like this nice little order, anything like that. We don't want them to look like that. We want them to look like they just fell on your paper. So I'm going to start with this leaf right here. And what you're going to do is you are going to carefully hold it down and you are going to trace around it. Okay? And you have to do this pretty carefully. And so you can see like this leaf is starting to curl up. And so I'm going to push it down flat. And unlike when you're tracing something like your hand and you can really press up against it with a leaf, it's not going to be very sturdy. So you're not really going to be able to press up against it. You're just trying to carefully get the outline. Now, another thing I want you to think about with this project is that we want our leaves to look like real leaves, not like the fake leaves that come from Walmart in the fall section. We want them to look like real leaves. And so here I have my outline. Ooh, look, I even have a real bug there. So here is the outline of my leaf. Now I'm going to draw the veins of the leaf. And sometimes this gets a little bit tricky for kids because, number one, if we were to draw every single vein in this leaf, good gracious, it would take us 1,000 years. And so we're not going to draw every single vein. We are going to draw the things that are the biggest veins, the ones that kind of stand out. So I'm going to use this leaf here to help me decide which veins I need to draw. And so I want to draw, anytime I'm drawing from something that's real, I want to make it look real. I'm not drawing what I think they look like. I'm drawing to my best ability what they actually look like. And so you can see here I have the 5 main veins of this leaf. Now, if you look here, you can see that the veins, the smaller veins, are almost like a V. Okay? And so sometimes I have boys and girls that just try to do straight lines. And my biggest thing is if we look at these veins here, they're not straight. They're not going straight across. Okay? They're actually going upwards across the leaf. And so I might take and do just a few of those veins. I'm not going to do them all because, like I said, that would take us forever. And unfortunately, we don't have forever to take. And then we're going to come over here and do some of these. And like, let's say I had one here. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I'm not just going to leave it in midair like that. I'm going to draw until I'm touching another pencil line. Okay, so I'm going to go through and add some more of these veins. So you can see I'm doing the best of my ability to kind of draw them like the actual veins on this leaf here. And so let's see, I might draw one there and I might draw one there. Now at this time, if I had any holes in my leaf, I would draw those. And so I have a teeny little one right there that we can just barely see. So I would draw that little hole right there, but we want to draw the leaf as we see it with any irregularity. So now as I go on and do the rest of my leaf drawing, one thing that I want you to make an effort to do is have some leaves that overlap and some that hang off the page. And so like, let's say I wanted this leaf here to overlap. What I would do is I would just trace around it, and I'm doing this probably too quickly just so that we can get this video done. But right here, I don't want to trace over top because I have another leaf there. Okay, so I'm just going to trace up to that line, and then you can see when I move it, it looks like this new leaf is under the one that I've already drawn. Okay, and then when you have your leaves hanging off, you just don't draw that part that's hanging off the page. And then lastly, these leaves right here are sometimes tricky, how it's folded over. And so if I were going to draw this leaf, I would just simply draw all the way around it, and then on top I would draw the pieces that curve forwards, okay? So that's what I'm going to do for my leaf drawing. That is going to take you probably at least 2, if not 3 days, okay? And so you are going to get that done, and then the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to carefully trace over all the little things that you did in crayon. Now, I'm also going to give you a little clue here that I have noticed that sometimes when I ask boys and girls to trace, they get really sloppy. And the thing is that if you took your time drawing your leaves carefully and then you're really sloppy when you trace over them with this crayon, nobody's going to see all that time that you took to draw those leaves. And so we're just going to carefully go over every single thing that I did with my pencil. And I would do my stem as well. And then I'm going to do these other veins. Now, after you've done this, you are going to use some watercolor that are going to be the fall leaves. Now, the fall leaf colors. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, this leaf was green, so I'm going to make it a green leaf. You don't need to worry about that, okay? As long as you're using those fall colors. Now, a few guidelines for using those fall colors is that when you go to paint, first of all, you want to stay in your lines, okay? And one really neat thing is, if we look at a fall leaf, like even this is just a tiny bit of a dead leaf. You can tell that there's some orange and there's some green in there. And so when you paint your leaves, I suggest that you use 2 colors. And so one way that you can do that is, so like for example, I'm going to use red and orange for this leaf. And so I'm going to take and add some orange, and I'm going to overlap. So you can see where I overlap, it almost creates a 3rd color, which I would call red-orange. And so you're just going to carefully paint that in. And you need to make sure, understand that when you do watercolor over crayon, that's called a wax resist method. And so your watercolor is not going to go over top of, or like cover up, it's probably a better way to say it. It's not going to cover up your crayon. So you're going to get all of those leaves painted, and you want to work really carefully, because a few little things that I've noticed that happen sometimes is, like, for example, if you use too much watercolor on this, is that when you go to pick it up, your little puddles are going to spill and run on to the rest of your watercolor painting. Okay, so that's number 1 problem. Number 2 is that, like, for example, if I were going to paint this leaf, if I wasn't careful right here, let's say I wanted this leaf to be yellow, well, this color would bleed onto this leaf. So we want to be careful doing that. So after you've painted all your leaves, then you are going to use a white oil pastel. If there's time, there may or may not be time. And you are going to add some little wind swirls. So if you can kind of see, all I'm doing is adding some swirls here, and you really will not have a lot of room, and they're going to be very white, so you won't be able to see them. And then what you're going to do is, when you do your blue over top, those little white swirls are going to show up and appear sort of like the wax resist. And so you're going to do your background in your blue, and then those little chalk, what it's going to sort of look like is that those leaves are flying in the wind. Okay, so see, that one showed up really well. And that is going to be the very last step to your project. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you when I get back.